Hi there, this is Jacob Nash, and this is a review of Module 80 on altruism, conflict, and peacemaking. Okay, so something I wanted to say, a note is that any information in modules 81 to 85 that is needed for the exam will be included within this video. Modules 1 through 80 cover the majority of the course. So I was going to make all 85, but I was looking at the modules, the last 5, and they're not really included in the course. So there's very little in those modules that you really have to know. So that's the reason why. But this will be the last one, the final AB Psychology module video. Now, I will make a review video, maybe more than one, but a review video on the content, because now that we're at the end of the course, you need to make sure that we're preparing for the exam, and the best way to do that is to just review all the vocab words, which there's a whole lot, over 500 that we've gone over. But if the more you practice it, the easier it will be to remember. So while that might seem like that would be hard to do, it's actually not that bad. Okay. So what is altruism? This is selfless regard for the welfare of others. Selfless is the opposite of selfish. So it means that we're thinking about others more than ourselves. That's what altruism is. Now, what is the bystander effect, also known as diffusion of responsibility? This is the tendency for someone to be less likely to help if others are present. You might think, oh, they'll probably help them. Have you ever seen maybe like some grandma in a store drop her milk carton or something? Well, if you saw a whole bunch of other people around, maybe you didn't help because you thought they would. That's the bystander effect. Social exchange theory, this is the idea that our social interactions is an exchange process. It's just saying that we're not going to do anything unless the reward is better than or more than the cost. So there's different norms. Do you remember what norms are? So they're things that we just commonly expect, or like common rules for society that we would think that we would do. So reciprocity, I don't even know how to say that well. Reciprocity norm, whatever you want to say. This norm is just the expectation that we will help those who help us. So if someone helps us, we'll probably help them. Social responsibility norm, the expectation that we'll help those that need it. So even if they didn't help us, if they need help, we are expected to help them. Now, the person in this picture, Wesley, last name starts with an A, forgot what it was, but he, in 2007, jumped into a subway to save someone that was having a seizure. So there's some things like that that's a common norm for society, that if we see someone in trouble, that we would probably help them. Conflict. A conflict is an incompatibility in actions, goals, or ideas. So one conflict that you need to know is approach. This is a conflict in which both options are equally appealing. Social traps. A social trap is harming our collective well-being by pursuing our own interests. So you do something that you want to do, but collectively, as a society, it harms our society. Mirror image perceptions. This is just the idea that we might think we are good, they are bad. Just kind of thinking of others differently than ourselves. And then the self-fulfilling prophecy is a belief that causes itself to happen. So sometimes we believe something so much that it happens. So you tell yourself, I'm going to fail this test. I'm going to fail this test. And then you fail it. Well, maybe you wouldn't have failed it if you didn't think that, if you had more confidence in yourself. So that's what that is. Superordinate goals. These are goals that override differences and call or require cooperation. So these are goals that instead of being individual, they are goals that they look over differences and people cooperate for them. Grit. This is an acronym, but this is just a strategy that we use to decrease international tensions. And then catharsis. This is when we release. There's an idea that we release aggressive energy. That's what catharsis is, and it releases aggressive urges. So here's some review questions. Create an example of approach conflict. Early cannot decide whether he wants to go to the beach or mountains, which to him are equally desirable options. Create an example of diffusion of responsibility or the bystander effect. Mayu sees an old man drop a junior mint box on the ground but does not help him because she figures that other people around will. A belief that leads to its own fulfillment called the self-fulfilling prophecy. Which conditions may lead to a conflict within organizations? Well, this is not something that you really need to know. I mean, these are uh, things that lead to conflicts, but it's not like you have to know specific ones. But there could be differences in beliefs and values, task independence, absence of ambiguous rules, resource scarcity, ineffective communication, incompatible goals. The bottom line is things that are incompatible beliefs and goals, typically. Oh, one more question. What does research on aggression as catharsis tell us? It shows that the releasing of aggressive energy can release aggressive urges. Okay, well, there you go. That's it for these videos. So I really hope that they have been helpful. What has it been now? 8 months that I've made them. And hopefully people in future school years can watch these, but I appreciate those who have supported me in the 22-23 school years. So I hope that, like I said, this can help more people in other school years, but be on the lookout. I'm going to make a review video, a mass review video of all the different vocab words. And remember, depending on what AP class you take, there's a key way to study that can really alter whether you pass or not. I can say that for AP Psychology, the main thing that you are going to want to do is, like I said, not just know all these words. So, for example, catharsis, not just know what it is, but also be able to create an example. That's why a lot of these questions have been like that, because if you create an example, um, just knowing the terms, that can help you with the majority of the multiple choice questions, but not as much for the FRQs, because sometimes the FRQs will say, create an example of how this person could use this to help this person or something like that. That's why you're going to want to know how to do an example for every single one. Now, the more you do it, the quicker it will come. And honestly, it's not really that hard to do. If you think about it, if you know what it is, it's not that hard to make an example of it. But anyways, remember also that if you have any other AP classes, I do have review for some other ones. Those include, let's see, AP Statistics, AP US History, AP Lang, and I think that's the main ones. AP Physics, that's another one. But yeah, so there's definitely, I mean, I can recommend, I don't know, this video is probably longer than it needs to be, but I guess most people that take AP Psychology are typically freshmen or sophomores, I guess I would say. So probably you might be taking human geography. I would recommend for that Andrew Patterson and Mr. Sen. And if you're taking Euro or US history, I would recommend Heimler and Tom Ritchie. And for AP Psychology, I would recommend Mr. Jacob Nash. but there's also other resources that could be helpful too. Um, and AP Physics, I forgot, flipping physics, that's what it is. Yeah, so there's lots of different things out there. So remember, maximize your time, and and you should be able to pass your exams. You should be able to. So thank you for watching.